Episode 37 coming at you right now.
Doo 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 doo. That's our song.
So, my daughter has this thing where she doesn't sleep. She was up until 2 this morning. It was
What
great.
does she do?
Gets mad. Like, we were up in the living room. How long? I mean, till midnight.
Mm-hmm.
They were at this funeral in Arkansas, so
They being your wife.
my wife's side of the family, they all went to Arkansas for a funeral. They came back, and Maya was just like really entertaining herself because I
Mhm.
guess she was just around people all day. She was in the car for 5 hours in total, you know. So like she got home and she just started crawling around and playing like by herself. Normally
Mhm.
she's like always wants somebody. So we're like, cool, we'll just let her do this all night. So it's about whatever time we fed her, skipped her bath.
Mm,
It's part of the problem.
probably. Are you just not realizing that?
No,
Oh, okay.
we realized that about 1:30.
Just go throw her in the bathtub.
I know. I thought about it. I was like, I should just dunk her head in there, get it washed, and get her to bed. She was tired though. Like she'd sit up and just bang, hit her head on the pillow, hit her head on the bed, hit her head on the couch, whatever. So we tried to lay her down at like midnight and did not work. Like she just kept sitting up. So we just like, whatever, go play it out. We turned on the Wiggles. That was what did it for her for a while. She just sat there, watched it. And like after 3 minutes going by of me staring at her, I looked at Hannah and I said, she has not blinked. She did not blink her eyes for like 5 minutes. She just, but yeah.
You know, children don't have to blink as much as adults do.
I do know that since now that I have a kid.
Yeah.
I am parched. Oh well.
Parched.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a water bottle. If you
It's
want
okay. There's so much sickness.
Yeah.
So our
Well-
Notre Dame basketball team, like, someone who's sick every day.
Dang.
It's crazy. It's gotta go.
Yeah, I mean we're in a season of sick. I don't really think it's all sickness. It's just, I mean, you could say it's sickness. I think it's just like a cold because of the weather changes. I mean, we went from 30s to single digits, back up to 30s, and then for a day, and then down to single digits again, and then we're back to 30s today.
Yeah.
But there was freezing rain last night.
Yeah.
It's all just stupid.
It is. It is. If you don't live in Missouri and you think about living in Missouri, you should probably reconsider.
It's nothing is worth it.
No, there's not one thing.
Like
we finally got a Chick-fil-A, like 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not like.
But you can move to like St. Louis, right? Like St. Louis
Yeah.
is the biggest city in Missouri, but
Is it?
then their crime
Is
rate
Kansas
is
City bigger?
no.
No.
I don't think so. But the crime rate in St. Louis has the highest crime rate of any city, I think, in the entire United States.
Yeah.
So you don't want to move there. And then you could say like, oh, let's go to Branson. But Branson is fun and all, but it's just a tourist town.
Yeah, so always busy.
Yep.
And St. Louis is busy too. Like I've been to Dallas. That's a different type of busy.
Mm-hmm.
But at least there's like 6 lanes on the highway.
Right. There's
Now,
I think
all
there's
6
one
aren't
interstate.
moving. Now, all 6 aren't moving.
Right.
But St. Louis, it's like you're in 2 and 2 aren't
Yep.
moving. So it's pretty bad.
Yep. And like St. Louis County is so weird.
I enjoyed
because-
living in there though.
You did?
I really did. I also had money at that point in my life.
Yeah.
So I think I would have enjoyed living anywhere.
Do you guys have home security? You guys were outside of I know you guys are outside of St. Louis City, but
No, we did not. I was thinking I've had an alarm at some point at one of our houses. The duplex we just moved from not long ago had an alarm system.
Oh, really?
We never used it though.
I was about to say I'd never set it off.
Yeah. But no, our St. Louis one didn't. Our apartment, we were in an apartment in a wealthier area in St. Louis.
Mhm.
Ellisville was the name of it. And then we bought a home in Hillsboro, and I mean it was
Oh yeah, Hillsboro was a
pretty
little bit
outside
farther
of St.
south.
Louis.
So.
Yeah, it took probably 30 minutes to like get into St. Louis or get to Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
40 minutes. Just
Yeah,
so we
you
were
went
more in between.
every week.
It was so fun. We did. We went to a St. Louis Cardinals game every week, but it was the absolute best year in baseball history to go to. Albert Pujols' last year, and Molina's last year
Wow.
as well. So that was, absolutely epic. Every time Albert Pujols went up to bat, everybody just stood up. Their phone was out.
Man,
That was crazy. Yeah,
that would have been
that was some good times, man.
Yeah,
it was also cool just because it's like we got to do that right before a baby as well, so we got to live pretty much our best life, probably the best life we ever will.
Yeah.
In that season,
Taylor and I are starting to talk about it.
Moving to St. Louis,
having a baby.
Having a kid. I overheard.
You overheard?
I overheard she's gonna get off certain medicine.
Oh yeah. But we are talking about taking a bigger trip this summer.
Yeah, we did that when Hannah was pregnant. Definitely worth it.
We're not going on that kind of trip though.
Not Cabo. Went to Alabama.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Because Cabo was a company trip.
Yeah, it sure was.
It was a trip with the company. Did the company pay for that?
No.
Okay.
I paid for me and Hannah.
Oh, okay.
But we talked about solar.
Yeah.
So it's written off as a company trip. Can I say
you
that?
Got reimbursed? You're not employed by them anymore?
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the government. If they come get me, come get me. You know what I'm saying?
Who in the government's going to watch this podcast?
Trump.
He won't care.
He won't
He's
care.
got so many tax write-offs.
So
it's not even funny.
That's fair. But yeah, we discussed solar, one day just so I could write it off. We talked business strategy for 5 seconds.
Yeah. But Taylor and I were talking about taking a trip. My wife has this thing where she wants to go to like all the national parks before she passes. So we have a while. I mean, say she lives till she's 80. We've got 55 years.
Yeah. Is Redwood National Park, is that a thing?
Yeah,
like
California.
The redwood trees. Like I would go to that one. That is wicked.
That's where we wanted to go on our honeymoon. We wanted to go and stay in Upper California, and then go to there, go to one in Nevada, and then we had talked about actually driving down the coast of California.
That'd be cool.
But we got married in January.
Yeah.
So that would have sucked in Northern California. So we didn't. And also, like, we didn't necessarily have that kind of money. We don't think we're going to take that trip now. We're talking about possibly going up to a national park in Ohio, and also going up and seeing Niagara Falls, and going into Pennsylvania. Of course, going into New York with the falls. And then if we're at Niagara Falls, we talked about going over into Canada to say we've been in Canada as well.
I would go to Canada, not in the winter.
So if y'all want to take a trip this summer,
yeah.
I know now that you're rolling in it.
Yeah.
we have a donation thing, don't we? Somewhere we have a link to something.
I think I got our Venmo sitting on one of the links just in case somebody was feeling generous.
Just in case you're feeling generous.
Just in case you're like, gosh, I just want to bless these two young, good-looking men, and I don't know how. That's how.
That's how. We both work in
Or
church.
just comment. That would probably make me happier than $20.
Yeah.
I give away a free shirt and no one wants to comment.
Yeah. What a weekend. What a weekend we had.
What a 2 weeks.
For real. Last week was, I think, one of the hardest weeks I've had in such a long time.
Yeah, I wonder why I had a migraine.
Yeah, for real.
Golly. Because it went from Saturday night, we had something, didn't we? No, it just felt
no, but we had
Sunday was church starting point, which is like a new people to the church can kind of like get involved and learn more about the church and what we believe in and stuff like that. Pardon me. And then that night is young adult service, but they got canceled because of snow.
But we had already set up for it.
Yeah, but we already did everything for it, so it wasn't really like a night off, and we still filmed a podcast for it.
Well, not only did we film, like we filmed the message, and then the next day we also filmed like our podcast.
Not only did we film the message, but the message was filmed in slow motion.
Yes.
So I had to figure out how to not make it slow motion.
And then he scrapped it.
Yeah. So 4 hours later, you still didn't have a video. You just had audio for that young adults message. Then that whole week we had a basketball tournament in St. John.
And rehearsal on Tuesday.
Yep, and night of worship was Saturday night, so we had 2 worship practices.
Yep.
You had your typical Wednesday night.
I'm a typical Wednesday night, and then a whole 17 songs to program for lights, and 4 more for Wednesday. So 21 songs to program.
That's crazy.
That is not fun to do in 1 week.
Well, the Chiefs play your Ravens.
Chiefs won. I saw something today. It was something on Facebook, and it was a news channel, and it said like whatever the names of the artists are that are doing the halftime show or whatever. Usher.
And they said for the Ravens and the 49ers.
Ravens and the 49ers. Yeah. And I was like,
the script is out, boys.
I know. I was like, man, this, like the whole script thing, wild.
The only reason it wouldn't be the Ravens and 49ers is because the script is out so much.
I know. I would love to see the Lions go to the Super Bowl.
I would love to see the Kansas City Chiefs play the Lions and the Lions still lose. But I'd love to see
the last time Jared Goff played Kansas City,
they won.
He won. Jared Goff was on the Rams. They played in the Coliseum out in LA.
Didn't the Lions beat the Chiefs this year?
I think probably. I don't know.
That was the first Chiefs loss, first game of the year.
Maybe the Chiefs are not that good. They're not that good.
Maybe the Chiefs did play their absolute best game all year against the
Bills.
Yeah. But the Bills did too. They really did.
Yeah.
You know how they lost?
Yeah, missed field goal.
I saw a TikTok, super, super funny. This family was in their basement watching the game, and they turned on one of those standing fans.
Yeah.
And it was blowing it that way. And then the dude actually missed to the right, and they just lost it. I'm like, that is so awesome.
I saw that today as well.
Awesome. I freaked out. But I hate to see the game end like that. I would have loved to see make the field goal and someone's got to score.
Mm-hmm. It's been a really good playoff season. I mean, there was there were 2 bad games. It was the Browns and the Texans, and then the Texans and the Ravens.
Yeah.
But that was it. I mean, every other game was pretty close. It was pretty competitive.
I am deeply cheering on the Lions, especially if the Chiefs don't make it. Then I want the Lions, but
yeah,
we'll see. I can't get over how much jerseys are.
I've not looked in probably
the cheapest
5 years.
Football jersey for the Kansas City Chiefs is $90.
Who is it?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. We should probably talk about God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had our night of worship this weekend.
Yeah.
So we had a moment where Pastor Chris, the pastor at Connection Point Church, came up and he spoke. And I think there was just a lack of communication on all fronts.
The paper said 20 minutes.
The paper said 20 minutes, but I don't know, because we were supposed to have another altar call for trusting God later on. And so I don't know if Pastor Chris was necessarily supposed to lead an altar call there, but he led an altar call, and we had only planned 1 song for that moment. But of course, it's a night of worship, and the people that usually come to nights of worship are the people who are actually seeking after God. And so we had a big altar time, and we got done with that song. The song's 4 minutes long, and a video was supposed to come on the screen, and it was a hype video to get us back, to build us back up into the next set. And I had stopped playing because I had started playing the piano for that song. And Tyler was like, "Tyke, keep playing, keep playing."
I said that.
Oh, yeah. And so I started playing again, but I was in a key that was different than what we were going to go into no matter what.
And you were supposed to sing the next song.
Yeah, I was.
So I didn't realize that till after I said you have to keep playing.
Yeah.
Then I realized he's supposed to sing the next song.
But we ended up just going with just different songs we had in the set list. So we had to mix up some things, but it ended up working out so well. And even through that much chaos,
God still moved.
God moved more than I think we could have ever imagined through that, because no one noticed anything had gone wrong except for the video, because we're like, what is this video for?
Yeah, because there was no sound. The sound just didn't work.
Yeah.
But that's also a God moment.
Yeah. Because if that video would have played, it would have ruined the moment completely.
Yeah.
But it did not hinder the night at all for the people who came. For me, I was stressed beyond comprehension because
I was too, because I was just like, I don't know who's singing next.
I remember I walked off stage.
And you looked so mad when I said keep playing. Like, I swear you put your hands up and put them down, just like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
and I was like, you have to. Like, it's gonna be mute here. Like, that's awkward. I'll be your MD.
Yeah, we needed more communication on stage and throughout to media as well, because they were trying to film music videos and they didn't get any music video. But it worked out. Like, everyone enjoyed it.
It went good. I absolutely love Night of Worship nights.
Yep.
For sure.
If we could just have them on a Friday and not have them on a night before Sunday morning, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was good. Sunday morning was really good as well. We had Pastor Chris led a mass altar moment. And it was beautiful to see, like, really, like, the entire church. There were maybe 20 people that stayed in their seats and didn't move. But it was amazing seeing the entire church up at the altar, at the stage, surrendering their lives to the Father.
I'm not judging, so don't take it that way. But what do you think causes them not to go up? Because it's like, tradition. I wouldn't go up because of awkwardness.
Yeah.
But when there's only 10 to 20 people left in the seat, like, that's awkward. Not when 90% are standing up front, you know?
It's I truly believe it comes from tradition. And see, a lot of people believe that the altar is a place for prayer, and no place throughout the Bible does it say that the altar is a place for prayer. The Bible says that an altar is
sacrifice.
The altar is a place to sacrifice, but an altar was built in the Bible where people encountered God. The altar is still that. The altar never changed. The altar is a place where you can encounter God. Now, yes, like I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the altar to get prayer, because I mean that's what the church has made it, and so it's not bad. But whenever we think of the altar as a place to go and encounter God, I think that we can change the environment and the stigma of church. Because like I said, the people that stayed in their seats, I think it was all a tradition thing. I don't need to go to the altar. Like, I don't need prayer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also, I mean, a lot of them were the older folk who don't necessarily enjoy the songs that we do. They think that the only songs that should be sung in church are hymns. But I was having a conversation with a guy at the gym the other day, and we were talking about music, and he was actually, I believe he said he was pastoring a church whenever they made that transition to contemporary music. And there was so much kickback from the older, the more wise folk of the church. And what they had to understand, and I believe what all people who believe that like certain styles of music should only be allowed in the church, is that the only thing that God cares about is if it is theologically sound and if he's getting the glory through the music.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it talks about so many places talk about worship in heaven, and how worship involves like cymbals and strings and horned instruments. And yes, we don't necessarily have just that at a church, but you can take those things and break them down, or to break our instruments down that we use today into those different things, into those categories, and just say that the instruments have evolved. And I've heard so many people say that talking about evolution within the church is a terrible thing, but I'm not talking about the evolution of humanity. and people just say the word evolution is bad to talk about in general if you're a Christian. The only reason why evolution would be bad to talk about is if you're talking about how creation,
How I'm a monkey.
Yeah, like how creation evolved from Homo sapiens to what we consider ourselves as humans. What I'm talking about is how musical instruments have evolved, right? We don't necessarily play with a harp anymore, but we play with a guitar that has the same function as a harp. And it, like I said, people need to realize that all that God cares about is that he's being glorified by the music that is being sung, and that it is in line with what he has said through the scripture.
Yeah, I'm okay if you don't like it or if it's not your style.
Yeah.
But
to say it's wrong.
Yeah, to say it's wrong, I don't agree with.
Yeah. And there are so many hymns that are also like not theologically sound, yet they still sing them and they think they're okay because that's what they grew up with and that's what church music should be.
Yep.
But we have to get past that. One day the music will evolve into something else.
And I probably won't like it.
Yeah.
But it's not what it's about.
That's right.
It'll be weird. Like, I could see it going back to something, I guess it's just like clothes and everything like that. Like, everything is a trend that comes back around.
It's going to be like dubstep, bro.
That's crazy. Rap. Country.
Oh, you could say that a lot of worship music has country roots in it.
Yeah.
I think about like Graves
We
in
need
the
a
Gardens.
banjo.
I know a few people in the church that play banjo.
A banjo.
What are we gonna play? Rend Collective.
Sure, don't know what that is.
Rend Collective, the Christian group. Man.
I mean,
Okay.
Maybe I've heard their song.
Yeah, you have for sure.
Well, that was a quick one.
Was it a quick one?
Probably not. Everybody probably dropped off, 2 minutes in anyway.
Probably. When are we gonna announce the winner of our giveaway?
The day this video goes live.
The day this video goes live.
I'll probably just message the person.
Yep.
Starts with a T.
Should I say what it ends with?
First name? It starts with a T, ends in an M.
Yep. Both in the spelling and in the pronunciation.
Love you guys. It'll be better next week. We'll be prepared.
I didn't think the podcast was that bad.
Oh, okay. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Like, subscribe,
Share.
share.
Comment.
Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.